Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new here. I am so excited to be finally sharing a penthouse build using the new Lovestruck Expansion Pack. I have been attempting to build a penthouse for the last couple of weeks since I've had access, and I keep scrapping it and not being happy with it. So I ended up trying again a couple of days ago, and I just finished this, and I'm so excited to show you how it came out. The idea was for a couple of different sims that are, I guess, more of like a bachelor, always having various sims coming over. I wanted it to be very romantic, but I was thinking these sims were single and just enjoying their time exploring different romance options, woohoo partners, all of it, going on lots of dates, bringing lots of sims back, and that was the whole idea. I really just wanted to include a lot of the new items, but also lean into a very specific color scheme, and I made this home very industrial, which I thought worked really well with the color scheme of a lot of the items with Lovestruck, but I also leaned into a lot of other packs as well, so this is not limited pack. But I do feel like Lovestruck works really well with a variety of other packs. I feel like you can mix and match items pretty nicely, and it works well together. And speaking of which, if you are interested in picking up the Lovestruck Expansion Pack, which just came out, please consider using my creator code, which is Gryphi. That's Gryphi. You just enter it at checkout, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. It's just a great way to support me as a creator, so thank you so much for considering. And thank you to EA for sponsoring this portion of the video. So right now I'm just planning out some flower boxes. I know this is a penthouse and it's like floating on top of a building in the sky, and not always does it make a lot of sense to have some landscaping, but I thought it would look so cool here to incorporate some bushes and trees. There ends up being some palm trees and some of the new ones that come with this pack as well. Also right here, I am using some of these windows from the Horse Ranch expansion pack as sort of a fence. I saw somebody post about this on Twitter, and I'm going to try to find it to go ahead and link down below. It's not my original idea. I saw it there and I thought it was so cool, so I wanted to try it myself on this house. And also, if you do hear loud background noise, it is currently downpouring outside, so you might be able to hear that. But I still wanted to get this voiceover done and get this video out, so I just wanted to mention that because I'm not sure how loud it's going to be. I also am going to, in a little while, be adding some decorations to the rooftop of one of these like boxes I just created, as I wanted to have like a romantic space for your sims to go hang out on the roof. I ended up putting the new blanket up there, which is kind of fun. And I also did consider having green roofs for a little while, but I didn't like how it looked. It felt just very off compared to the rest of the house. So I did get rid of that in the end, but I would love to come back and do another penthouse at some point that is more of like an eco-modern vibe, like eco-lifestyle. So let me know if that's something you would like to see, or other sort of penthouses you would like to see. And then the other thing I was thinking of doing is creating an apartment building up on top of one of these penthouses, now that we're able to create residential rentals on penthouse lots. And I think that would be really fun to do in San Myshuno as well. Though I do really wish that Lovestruck came with apartments in the same way that City Living and Eco Lifestyle did. I just really miss that sort of style of apartment. It's so cool that we get to create our own, but I don't always want to do that. I sometimes just want to decorate a space, and I think that would have been really fun and a cool way to have a bunch of different households in this world. But I'm not really sure if we're ever going to get that sort of apartment again now that we have for rent. I would love to know your input on that, if you think that's something we could ever see again, or that's just gone now that we have for rent. Either way, I am excited to create some more residential rentals, some apartments, some townhouses, whether in this new world or other places. I feel like there are so many spaces that I want to create some more stuff. And I did start working on some townhouses for this world when I had that super early access. I'm not sure when those will be finished, because it's a big undertaking, but that is something that is in the works. They're really colorful to match the other buildings around the area, which is quite fun because I tend to go for things that are not as colorful. For example, the house we are working on now, which is brick and black, and a lot of red as well, which I guess is a little bit different than what I typically do. So it's different in that way, but it's still using a lot of things that are part of my comfort zone, which is industrial, which I really enjoy doing. I thought it was so cool to be able to have this like romantic twist on a design that I really enjoy and include a lot of the new items. I've been really enjoying Lovestruck for the most part. It's always really exciting though when we get a new expansion pack or any new content, because I like to just build with new items. So Anyway, this is going to be the pool area. At first, when I started the build, was like, okay, we're going to have a round pool. I did not keep it round because the rest of the building is very, very boxy, so I thought it would make more sense to not have the pool be round. So unfortunately, I didn't use it in this build, but I'm sure at some point I will be using some more of the rounded pools. They are so nice. I'm glad to finally have them. I feel like that's something we should have had forever ago, but I'm still glad to have them. Here I'm adding some loungers by the pool and then putting a half wall around this area to add some more like planters and stuff. And that's actually going to wrap around the whole side of the building. I'm just extending that out now to add some more greenery, and there ends up being a lot of red flowers out here, and I think it looks so, so pretty in the end. I was really happy with how I got that to come together, so I'm just going to be playing around with the placement of trees and making sure things are not clipping onto the inside of this build. I also got a ladder, which is actually one of the newer ones we got with the Riviera Retreat Kit, as are the pool loungers, and I thought about putting the table and chairs with the umbrella up on that balcony space, also from that kit, and it stays there for a while, but I do swap it out at the end. And then the red umbrella that I have over the lounge chairs is actually a item from Show Live at Objects that comes with my wedding stories. So it's not a functional item, it's not in the regular catalog, but I thought it would be perfect for this space, for that pop of red that I'm having throughout every other area, so I decided to put that there. And these are those low-lying red flowers I had mentioned. I also get some succulents, and basically just a lot of plants that came with Show Live Edit Objects with Lovestruck. I felt like it was a good way to frame out this pool and just give it a little bit more life, so it didn't feel like everything up here was just concrete, and I thought it came out pretty nice. I feel like the view from on the loungers in the pool would just be so pretty. I also really enjoyed the cactus, and I tried to use these sofas, which are from why do I want to call it Realm of Magic? It's not Realm of Magic. Vintage Glamour Pack, but they didn't work out. I also tried to use them inside, and once again, they did not happen. But I did use these ones outside here, which I believe are from Get Together, that are black, red, and white, and I thought that they were perfect. And then the loungers I changed to this red swatch, and I also painted the inside of the pool using some of the new tiles from the pack. And then, of course, just wrapping this greenery around the side of the building here as well, and trying to make sure that none of it clips inside either. And I think I successfully moved everything so it fits all nicely. So yeah, just grabbing a couple more of these things and rearranging all of them so that they're not overlapping, and then getting some over on the front of the build as well, which I should be doing here shortly, but I did get some vines over on the side, as I had this big flat wall and I didn't really want to have windows in that space. So I thought that was a good way to cover it. And then this is where I'm adding the skylight in this build, which I love so much. I end up just using a few roofs and having it, or roofs. How do you pronounce the plural of roof? Anyway, I have 3 of them up here, and I just thought it looked so cool to have them this style instead of having just like one piece. I think the like bumpiness of it looks really cool, and I've definitely seen this before, so I really wanted to include that. And then I'm starting to work on some of the decorations up on the flat roof. So I have a bunch of these like HVAC systems. I also have, or vents, I guess. I also have some of the solar panels, and then I'm getting a ladder up here to where I placed the blanket with some flowers and wine and candles, and this would be just like a cute place to look at the stars, and maybe more happens. It's definitely an option. I decorated it with some other things you might want to move out of the way if you want your Sims to have functionality out of that, but I thought the pillows just looked so cute that I needed to include them. And then this is that table and chairs that I do get rid of towards the end of the build, because I realized it's a table and chairs coming off of a bedroom, and we're not anywhere near a place where you would have food. So I do swap it out later for the bubble blower from City Living. I thought that could be kind of fun. And there's a hot tub up here as well. So I thought that that was a nice woohoo location to include in here. So there's quite a few in this build. I have some closets. There's plenty of showers and beds and a blanket and probably more things I'm not even thinking of right now. But I wanted to make sure your Sims had plenty of locations to enjoy a little bit of woohoo, since I was thinking that the Sims that lived here probably partake quite a bit in that activity, which was really fun to build for, honestly. This is not a style, like, the style of industrial is a style that I like to decorate in, but trying to make everything feel like a little romantic is just not something I do very often, and I didn't use the over-the-top wallpapers of all the animal print because, I don't know, I just don't really like them. But I'm sure at some point, if I come up with a fun idea for them, I probably will, but this build does not utilize those. I'm just using a lot of like brick and some of the new wallpapers from the pack, but not the animal print ones. Anyway, this is going to be the layout of the main room here, where we're going to have a dining room, kitchen, and living room all in one space. And then I separate off the other sides into our different rooms. There are 2 big bedrooms for the 2 main Sims that I was imagining lived in this house on the top floor, as well as 2 bathrooms up there. And then on the bottom floor here, we have the main living space, a spare bedroom, an office, and a gym. So there's lots of space here. You could definitely change the the spare bedroom is a bedroom, but you could change the office or the gym into another bedroom. So this could potentially be a like 5-bedroom house instead of a 3-bedroom house. There's lots of space. Also, the 2 bedrooms upstairs are pretty spacious as well. You could probably turn those into multiple rooms. But you can see the floor plan starting to come together here. I do have like a little hallway where the staircase is, and the elevator from the bottom floor brings you out into the kitchen space. Since elevators are required for penthouse lots, they don't function like in previous games. They are just kind of like a teleporter. I really wish they worked like in previous games in The Sims 3. I remember I think it was called Nightlife. Was it Nightlife or Sims 3 Late Night? There we go. I was so excited that they brought elevators and they were a new woohoo location, and that would have been such a nice one to add with this pack, since you needed to include elevators anyway, having the animation for them and having your Sims be able to woohoo in them. I always thought that that was a great woohoo location, so I don't know, maybe someday that will be a returning one. That'd be really cool. So just adding some of these closets in now. I'm actually using the ones from Get Together, not the new one that came with this pack, because it is more geared towards community lots. It looks kind of like a supply closet or a coat closet, a broom closet, that kind of idea. So I didn't include that, but I did get to use this new beam that we got with the pack to support some of these lights in the upstairs hallway. Since I do have a glass roof above them, it would have looked odd, like they were just floating. So I got to use that beam, and I thought it looked really, really nice. And then I'm just painting the floors with this wood that I chose, which I believe this one is from Eco Lifestyle as well. And just trying to figure out all of our window placement, painting the walls, and then starting on the kitchen, as that tends to be the first room I work on. I'm using base game counters, these industrial ones, and I paired them with an upper head cabinet from Jungle Adventure. I thought the wood tones worked pretty well, since I'm not the biggest fan of the upper head cabinets for this counter, so I thought I would just use a different one. So we're just lowering those all down so that they match up with the top of the fridge, and then grabbing a stovetop. I have a separate oven tucked in, and then a sink under the windows. And I'm actually going to change it so we just have one window in this space so I could add some more cabinetry. And I end up using quite a few items from the industrial loft kit, which makes sense since I was going for an industrial vibe in here. So the lighting fixture I have over the island is from that. I also end up using couches from that pack and a few other things that I'll point out as we get to them. But here you can see I've removed one of those windows, and I'm just adding in some more cabinetry, moving over these flowers. I really wanted all of those pops of red, whether it's the flowers themselves or the vase they're in. So just adding some of that fun greenery in here. I also ended up using the shelf from Cool Kitchen and tucking that into the cabinetry. So we had a little bit of exposed shelving, getting some cutting boards in here. I also end up with a microwave and a coffee pot. And actually, I'm going to be adding some other counters on a different wall a little bit later on. And over there, we're going to be adding some other appliances as well. I believe I get a waffle maker and the stand mixer. Both of those are from the Home Chef Hustle kit, or Home Chef Hustle stuff pack, I should say. We don't get too many stuff packs anymore, so like I feel like I'm always going to accidentally call them kits. Anyway, these are the sofas that I did decide to choose from the Industrial Loft kit. I'm using the table from that one as well. And the rug here is actually from Lovestruck. I think it's really pretty. I used it outside as well. And then getting a couple of paintings over on the other side of the TV. That TV is actually a TV. I know it looks like a painting, but that is from the Modern Luxe kit. And it's supposed to look like the real life frame TVs where you can have art displayed on it when it's off, but when it's on, it's a functional TV. And I thought that that worked the best in this space since it's very, I guess, like put together and clean in here. It's got that industrial style, but I feel like there's not too much clutter just laying around. I did try a few different tables and chairs in here before I got to the one that I wanted to use in the end. So you'll see that process happening, but just grabbing some of the best curtains in the game first, which are these ones here from modern luxe. They are beautiful. I love that we have the end pieces and then the rod in the middle, and they just like drape on the ground. They are so pretty. And I thought that they worked nicely with these Mosquito windows. I'm pretty much exclusively using windows from Mosquito in this build. Then I have a couple of other doors and stuff. So this sliding door that I have here, I believe is from Desert Luxe. But here I am just picking out the rug in the dining room and some artwork. And I'm going to be realizing I don't like the table and trying to pick something different. So this is the one I end up going with. And the chairs are actually from the Fitness Stuff Pack. I think they're really fun. And it was just nice to use them. I think they're a really interesting shape. And so because of that, I don't get to use them in too many builds, but I thought that they worked nicely here. And then this is actually one of the bar backs that came with Lovestruck. I know this isn't like the most realistic thing to have in every house, but it kind of felt like it worked here. And I had this big empty wall space I wasn't sure what to do with. And so I decided to include that. This is more of like an entertaining house anyway. I feel like your Sims are having a lot of friends and lovers over. So having additional bar space makes sense to me. This is the additional counters that I had mentioned. So I just got a couple of those over here in the corner, and I end up getting some more appliances over here. There's some shelving, and I will be painting this wall to have that same brick texture that the rest of the kitchen has. I'm just grabbing a couple of things here. So you can make some waffles. You can mix up the dough in the mixer, depending on the type of waffles, because you can make waffles with a batter or with a dough. There's a waffle place near me that makes it with dough, and it is so good. I haven't been there in a very long time, but now that I'm talking about waffles, I think that'd be a fun thing to do maybe this weekend. Anyway, we are moving on now into our office room. I do end up using the new desk that comes with this pack. I really like this desk. I wish it had more swatches, but I do really enjoy it. I think it's a nice looking one, and I'll probably get a lot of use out of it going forward. Above it, I did end up including this really pretty light fixture, which is actually from City Living, and it's on the exterior of the build a couple of times as well. I just thought it was a nice way to bring in some decor with some lighting, and I thought it worked really nicely for the style of this home, all of the exposed light bulbs. And yeah, this is going to be the little hallway. It's pretty simple. I just have a runner rug in here and some plants, a little bookcase, some artwork. And then I think the next room we're going to be working on is, I believe, this spare bedroom. Oh, I also ended up changing out the console table that I have in the living room for this one from the Fitness Stuff Pack, because I started to use it in the hallway, and I do keep it there, but I thought it would also look really nice in the living room. So just swapping that out and getting some artwork up above the stairs before we move on to actually the downstairs bathroom. I did really want to use the new like custom shower door that came with this pack, so that's what I did down here. One of the bathrooms upstairs has like a regular shower, like the cubicle shower, but the other one has this sort of shower setup, and I used some of these wall tiles from Jungle Adventure to make it feel like the shower has a different tile in it. That made sense to me. I don't feel like it's very common that you would have bricks in the shower. So I thought that that was a nice way to break it up, but still have that custom shower without having tiles go all the way to the ceiling. Plus, I didn't really want to use the new tile backsplash that we got with this pack because it wasn't really the style I was going for. But here I am just decorating some over toilet storage with some toilet paper and a razor and all kinds of stuff. And a little painting up above there as well. Or I guess it's more like a framed poster. That one's from the Book Nook kit, and I felt like it worked really, really nicely in this home. And then this is going to be the home gym. I just have the two new machines plus a bunch of mirrors, the decorative weights, and I also get a punching bag in here as well. But you could definitely add yoga mats or whatever other like exercise related items you would like in here. It'd be cool to eventually have functional weights because I feel like that decorative weight object, I'm very happy to have it. And I didn't even think about it when I got it because I was just excited about having a new decor piece. But it would have been so nice if your Sims could just interact with that and then all of a sudden start using the free weights like that. That would be so nice just to have like another option for your Sims to work out. So maybe someday they'll add something like that. I feel like we should be vocal about it. Anyway, this is the spare bedroom. It comes together pretty quickly because I keep the clutter to a minimum since, you know, it could be for anyone staying in here. But I think it came out really nice, lots of browns and blacks, and then we're just getting a place for a television up on the wall here. Pretty simple, and a rug as well. And then we're heading upstairs to work on the upstairs hallway and the two main bedrooms. I added a fish tank up here, which I thought was really fun. The one I'm using is from Dine Out. There's also one from the Cats and Dogs expansion, which I probably use way more often just because it looks like your average fish tank that you would see in somebody's house, whereas that one's like, here are the fish that you can eat at the restaurant. So I don't use it as often, but it felt like the right style for this home. I also was considering in this bedroom with the floral wallpaper using the heart bed. I do use the heart bed in this house, but in the other bedroom, I wanted this one just to feel really elevated, and I used a lot of the industrial loft kit in here. The bed, the bedside tables, I end up using the closet as well, and I paired it with some stuff from Lovestruck, and it just works so beautifully. I love the colors. This has got to be one of my new favorite wallpapers in the game, and I'm excited to try and use some more of the swatches. But I will admit that, the red one's one of my favorite ones. It is just so pretty. But it's a really nice wallpaper, and it's nice to have some more things like this because it doesn't always have to be for this sort of like romantic vibe. It could be for a variety of different ideas. There's a bunch of different swatches. There's some really bright and colorful ones. There's lots of dark and moody ones. I've used like a blue and green one. There's the purple one. And then this is going to be the other bedroom, which I do use the heart bed in. And I tried to make this one the over-the-top romantic room. It's kind of tacky, and I love that about it. I have like flower petals around it. We're using the leopard print. It's perfect. I also get a bunch of these like little decals up above the bed, some neon lights, and dim the lighting in here. We get the lip couch, which I use a couple of other places in the build, but I thought it was nice in here. I also, of course, have the costume chest with this beautiful light fixture from the Decor to the Max kit, a big mirror, and some other decorations in here. I end up having like the champagne from my wedding stories pack that I put on the bedside table, which I thought was a bit of fun, and some flowers and candles and stuff as well. But that is pretty much it for this build. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and click that bell to be notified when I upload. And if you are planning to pick up the Lovestruck Expansion Pack, please consider using my creator code Gryphi at checkout on the EA app. It doesn't cost you anything extra, it just supports me as a creator. So thank you so very much for considering, and please enjoy the screenshots, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.